What's up guys, it's USA Specialist, and while I do try to look on the bright side of Battlefield 2042, there's one stat about this game that still triggers me to this day. And as we head into the later half of Season 6 and soon Season 7, Battlefield 2042's live service may finally have as much content as Battlefield 1's first DLC. Yes, we are now in year 3 of Battlefield 2042, talking about how its live service is now equal to Battlefield 1's They Shall Not Pass.
Allons enfants de la patrie, aux armes citoyens. Entendez-vous dans les campagnes mugir ces féroces soldats. Ils ne passeront pas.
They Shall Not Pass, which came out in March of 2017, mere months after Battlefield 1's release, delivered an entirely new faction with new voice lines, cosmetics, 6 new weapons, 6 new gadgets, and 6 new vehicles. But most importantly, this single DLC delivered 6 brand new maps, something Battlefield 2042 has taken about 2 years to deliver at 1 map per season. In addition, They Shall Not Pass delivered more weapons in a single DLC than Battlefield 2042 delivered in its first 2 seasons. And not to mention, the DLC delivered 3 new vehicles, including a behemoth, mere months after the game's full release, which is something 2042 is still struggling with. Now, the obvious argument is that Battlefield 2042 spent a lot more time and effort reworking its 7 base maps, so it's sort of like getting 2 per season. However, that's a bullshit excuse. Battlefield 1 had more maps at the time of release, and for the most part, they looked amazing and played incredibly well. From Argonne Forest to Ballroom Blitz, from Amiens to St. Quentin Scar, Battlefield 1 was masterful in how it created era-specific maps based on real history, while still balancing the multiplayer in a believable and fun way. The Battlefield 1 devs put in the work up front, researching, designing, and testing maps, most of which even got expertly voiced over intros, which explain their significance in the title's iconic Operations game mode.
Tomorrow we'll be going over the top, finally up against the Hun. So far it's felt too much like a holiday.
You seen the machine guns they got? The artillery? The planes? Damn it, odds of us getting through this campaign gotta be about 25 to 1 against.
Them devils ain't so tough. Us boys will knock out their fortifications easy.
Break this Hindenburg line and finish this war. French been fighting for 4 years. They say just 4 minutes up against these fortified German lines and we look just like them. Yeah, like an army of living dead.
Battlefield 1 delivered more maps at a higher quality and with better balance in its first few months than 2042 has been able to do over the course of years. And while the reason is obvious that Battlefield 2042 failed so they removed support, regardless of what EA will try to have you believe, the fact still stands that EA and the devs set up Battlefield 1 for critical success from day one. They knew if they wanted to continue selling old-school DLCs that they had to deliver a base game that was compelling and then provide immense value over time with impeccably crafted maps, weapons, and gadgets, all of which were tied up beautifully in arguably Battlefield's best-looking game and certainly its most well-crafted. While I still defend Battlefield 2042 as an enjoyable experience, there's no hiding the fact that as much as this game has recovered, 2042 is by far and away the lowest point in franchise history. And while Battlefield 5 may have more content, and Battlefield 1 is arguably where this series peaked, I'm still enjoying my time with 2042, even though in the back of my head at all times as a lifelong Battlefield player, I can't stop thinking about how much potential was wasted and how objectively bad this game was allowed to be. It's insane that after decades of games with so much content and such high value, the EA allowed this game to release with such glaring objective issues like its record low weapon and map counts. It's an obvious lie that EA and DICE committed all their staff to fixing 2042, or at least a lie they were going to keep that amount of support going forward. It would have been interesting to see a 2042 with twice as many maps and as many weapons as Battlefield 4. Battlefield 2042 had the sexy looks, the epic trailers, the snappy gunplay, and the low cost of entry, but 2042 came out of the gate behind the gun, and almost 3 years later, we're now just talking about how it's catching up to Battlefield 1's first DLC. But guys, drop a comment below and tell me, at this point, after all these changes, what more would you want to see from Battlefield 2042? For everything else Battlefield, stay tuned and subscribe, and as always, thank you guys for watching.